Media, a global voice for humanity.
Welcome back. You are tuned into News and Views on Salaamedia. My name is Zahid Chadward, standing in for Julie Ali. And this is, of course, the final segment of the show for this morning. It is, of course, holiday season, and I think it would be quite appropriate for us to now discuss holiday reading and why it's important to ensure that your child reads during the holidays. And to discuss exactly this, we're joined now by Mariam Mia, who is a childhood development specialist as well as being a presenter at Salaamedia. So she joins us now to share insight on holiday reading and why it's important for children. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the show, Apa Mariam.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and peace and blessings to yourself, Zahid, our team, and all our listeners.
It is indeed quite great to be speaking to you after quite a while. All right, so holiday reading. I mean, we've heard this. This is something that many people have stressed in the past. Researchers have also highlighted the benefits of it. Uh, I mean, when you look at influential people as well, you look at them, and sometimes a lot of them also, um, they also encourage this culture of reading during the holidays. Why do you think this is
Absolutely.
important?
I always say, and I believe in this adage, that readers are leaders. Definitely. If you are well versed, you've read, have a love for reading, that's what sets you apart everywhere, in your own lives as well as internationally, globally. I mean, Zaid yourself, you, for your young age, you are an accomplished, well-read person, and it sees in terms of your presentation skills, your opinions, and how you write as well. So hence I say readers are leaders, and from a young age, we need to inculcate a love for reading. And notice I'm using the word love because reading should not be a chore. Reading should
Mhm.
not be like sweeping or doing your bed or doing your household chores or even doing your homework. Reading should be a love, something pleasurable, something that's going to enrich my life, something I'm going to be empowered. I'm going to gain more. I'm going to feel good. It's like when you're playing your favorite game or you interacting on the tablet or whatever, you get that lovely feeling and satisfaction. That's what reading's supposed to give you, and I think that's where we falter sometimes as adults is when we're teaching our children to read, the environment is not right, the circumstances are not right. We might not be calm because you've got to read, you've got to know this. So in our quest to get our children literate, we lose the essence and love for reading and to inculcate this. So that's, I think, where the struggle comes because we're not equating reading with a good feeling, something of an enriching experience.
Mhm. And I suppose the benefits of reading is actually quite immense, as you highlighted earlier on. I mean, research has shown that it does seem to have benefits for personal development, intellectual growth, literacy, and even numeracy. Uh, n- I mean, it does seem to be quite a beneficial activity to do, especially now during the holidays. And
Yes,
but
reading
I
is a
mean,
lifestyle, right?
mhm, yeah,
Reading is a life gift. Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. It's very important. So, I mean, it can be difficult, some might say, to find time to read since the world we are living in is so fast moving and, there are many sources of information around us. So, how do we go about inculcating this culture and this love that you speak of for reading?
Um, so first of all, the timing of when you read, whether it's compulsory reading children have to do at school where they need to read certain readers or you're reading for pleasure with the family and that the type of environment. So create a place, I don't know, is it a favorite reading spot, so to speak. So whether it's going to be in your garden or it's in a special room where there's good lighting and good ventilation, a good breeze. So you can do that, even we capitalize on those moments when with parents, they just need a break or they want to do something a night holiday time. So you're traveling. You are traveling parents. So as you're sharing the driving, go to the back seat if space allows it. Sit with them, read them a story instead of downloading the latest games and movies to keep the kids occupied. turn it into a readathon. So sit
Mm,
down with the kids, read. That's the best time when you're driving. When you're driving, get a nice read. Get something, if you've got younger kids, get a book that's full with color, full with pictures, and have conversations around what they are reading. Ask them the emotions or ask them what the characters are feeling in the book. So read that. If your child has a particular interest, they're interested in dinosaurs, then get books about dinosaurs, give them facts about it, let them see. So also the type of books, your cue should be your child's interest. If you
mm.
have
And
a child who loves birds or maybe cars, or so get the interest. Get books that
yeah.
they can relate to in their life experience. I often read my own thing into a book when I'm reading with the kids. I change the names around because with names they're familiar. I change cities around with places that the kids are familiar with. Uh, because why? It's very important to link it with the and build upon their life experience. So now in the holidays, even you're relaxing in the sun, maybe around the pool, if you're somewhere near access, or even on the beach, take the hard copy books and take them with, and maybe have a time of reading. Maybe take a book about somebody gone to the beach and they do research, or take your tablet with. Today there are great reading websites that you can access. They don't cost a lot, just cost the cost of data or Wi-Fi, and you
Mm,
need to download. So first, in I'd say first get books what the children already showing interest in,
mm.
and move from
Yeah.
there, and then have conversations around what you're reading.
Mm. Interestingly, you mentioned the online books, but I mean, for personal choice, I would actually take the hardcover anytime over a PDF book. Because I mean, personally, I've noticed that it's much more easier to and much more enjoyable to read an actual
So I'm
book
so
than
glad
to read a
somebody of
PDF.
your young, impressionable age is saying this, because a lot of them we have this argument where the
Yeah.
reading at home, the e-book is better than the real book, and maybe I'm old school and I'm prejudiced, but and I grew up holding books, flipping the books, seeing that, so I prefer hard copy. But then again, the new generation rolls in the electronic format, so you know what? As long as you're reading, you're enjoying it, your
Mm.
life is being enriched, and you are gaining that pleasure and satisfaction from reading. By all means, whichever form you are comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am quite, supportive of technology and adapting to it. But I mean, sometimes we just got to stick to the original, and it's always the best in that way. But nonetheless,
Absolutely. Yeah, also, a real book grounds you because you're holding something
yes, of course,
tangible.
indeed.
You're being
Yeah.
in the moment, you're being present. And that's what reading does for me when you're reading a book. And for me, it's so important as a counselor and a psychologist. I find that we need to be grounded. We need to
Mm,
be in
mm.
real time, real moments in the present, because we interact and we have lots of relationships in the virtual space. And
Yes,
so
absolutely.
when you're reading a book with your children, you don't realize the other positive is you are being grounded because you're holding
Mm,
something tangible. You're able to smell it, so engaging your senses. Because we, in our virtual world, we are no longer engaging our senses as we do previously, especially tactile in your sense of smell. So reading an actual book and taking time off to read in that moment grounds you, and that is therapeutic.
absolutely. All right. Just finally, before I let you go, are there any recommendations that you might have that we read during this holiday period?
So I'm not one who's prescriptive, because that's what I feel. Sometimes when we really prescriptive, then we lose that love for reading. So let's take our cues from our children, see what they fancy, what are their interests, and then find books like that will captivate their interest and also increase their knowledge in a certain subject. So at this stage, I'm not really prescriptive. It is holidays. And maybe
Mhm.
what's a nice, if you're traveling somewhere, parents get some information about the places you're visiting and read about the town itself, the contribution of the town. Maybe the town is famous for something. There's famous cuisine here. You can taste what the locals do. So in that way, you get a lot more information than just going to the beach and enjoying the beach or the river or wherever you might be just to to see. So get information about the place you're visiting, because that is going to increase their knowledge as well, the global knowledge of different geographical locations.
Absolutely. But I think that's where we leave it for now. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure, Zahid, and pleasure chatting to you, and enjoy your holidays. And what are you reading now?
I'm actually still trying to read Atomic Habits. I mean, so I've moved on from fiction, and I'm more serious. Very beneficial in that area. But that's what I'm reading. And you, Appa? Okay. We seem to have lost Upper Mariam Mia, but I think at 2 minutes past 10 a.m., let's call it a day for now. Yeah, Upper Mariam Mia is a childhood development specialist as well as being a presenter at Salaamedia. She was just sharing insight on holiday reading and why it's important for children. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed to the show, and to those of you who have been listening as well. Thank you so much. We look forward to being with you tomorrow again at the same time, same place. From myself, Zai Jadwit, and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Breaking stereotypes.